Hey, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Good Soup After Dark. I'm Jay.
I'm Marie.
And we're really excited for you to check out this new episode with our friend and musician, B-Roy. And that being said, if you're interested in being part of the next episode of Good Soup After Dark, you can either DM us, email us. We're going to have the links in the description below. And we also have a new Google form that we can have you fill out. You can share your story. You can share what you do. If you have an important event, album, book, anything coming out that you want to promote, let us know. And you too can be featured. Marie, is there any type of artist that you would like to interview in the upcoming future?
I don't know. Maybe someone who do something from the wood. I think is interesting.
Like a carpenter?
Yeah. Who do maybe someone do the I don't know, chairs or tables. I think it's really cool to interview a person like that.
Or signs. I've seen some nice
signs. Oh yeah. You said science, and I hear science, like chemistry or something. That's actually interesting too.
If you're a scientist, chemist, physicist.
Because nobody's talking about how many people do science. That's a great thing. If you're a scientist or someone, share that. We want to talk to them.
Absolutely.
That's great. Great.
Well, that being said, we hope you enjoyed this episode with B-Roy, who in a way is a scientist with lyrics.
And we wait for you in the next episode.
Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and please share.
Yeah. Share. Do you believe in life after love? Oh, different share. Sorry. I'm so proud of myself. I'm sorry.
We're leaving that in. And then. Enjoy this episode.
Bye.
Welcome to another episode of Good Soup After Dark. I'm Jay Gonzalez. We have Marie behind the camera. And tonight, we have a very special guest, rap royalty here. We have B-Roy.
How you feeling?
Not too bad. Do you mind just introducing yourself to the people? You got your camera there. Just tell a little bit about yourself.
Yes, it's B-Roy, Mr. in the building himself, always outside, having a great time. Follow me on Instagram at B__Roy. Royalty Tape Volume 2 out on all platforms. And we got a lot of stuff coming for you soon.
All things we want to talk about, for sure, like about the royalty tapes and all that. But before we get into it, I kind of this is our first time being on this platform together, so I just want to give you the space to talk about your history a little bit. When did you start rapping?
Yeah, so I want to say I always dabbled with it. I want to say more like high school, college-ish. I was always just fooling around. When I like working, high school and doing schoolwork, I would always just play beats, instrumentals and stuff. I was always just an avid music fan in general. And then it went from listening to beats to freestyling, and then it was that sounded kind of cool. And then, you grab your phone, you get next to the TV, turn the volume up, hit your voice memo record button, the whole nine. So it's just then I was listening to my freestyles and stuff as songs, and I was remembering them. And I was this doesn't sound half bad. Imagine if I actually wrote something. And then I want to say that from ninth grade on to, graduating from college, that's when I was okay, I can really dive into it. And then that's when 2020 came around. That's when I was okay, I'm gonna actually put something out now. So I want to say at least 8 years trying it, but more 4 years of actually doing it and being serious and going to performances and everything like that.
Do you remember your first the first bar or the first freestyle, just lines, anything in particular from the first time you listened to it and you're I can do this?
It was I want to say it was me living out my thoughts in the first place, and it was just karma is always coming back around, and I kind of just talked about I can't necessarily remember the lyrics right now, but it was I talked about how karma was always coming back around, what you do and in your regular life, it could affect you in the future, things like that. And also was like tapping into like my emotions of like how like other people's making me feel like, oh, you're going to get it in a sense. But it was always just talking about like how like a girl I will try to like deal with or whatever would treat me bad, and I just want to treat them well. And then like, life always just, affects you in so many different ways. But then, the tables have turned and the coin has flipped. You know how they say.
So 2020 is when you started taking it seriously. Mm-hmm. And not to say that you weren't taking it seriously before, but that's kind of when you transitioned into like, I want to do this professionally. Yeah.
And that's when I dropped my first collab tape, the Vibe Tape 1. Me and MVG, we had kind of crafted that whole thing when I was going through my practice runs and everything. And he was like, you should like take this seriously. And I was just sitting there like, you think so? Like, not sure. And then he was like, yeah, like, might as well, like, pretty good. And I was like, all right, cool. So then I go ahead, start, writing like actual songs. And I was like, I don't know if it's good enough. Like, let's do it together. And then we just did a collab. And then we collabed on it. And all those songs you can find on SoundCloud. And then once we put it out, and we was realizing like, oh, snap. Like, I'm getting like 200, 300 plays on like 4 out of the 7 songs. I'm like, oh, someone's listening to this. Like, it's not me. Like, and the whole time, like, if you listen to yourself on SoundCloud, the way they calculate it, like, your listens to yourself don't count. It don't change the number.
So you mean if you're listening from the profile you uploaded to?
Yeah. Okay. Like, it doesn't do anything for your number. And then you don't get ads either, though. Fun fact. So if you like listen to yourself, on SoundCloud, you can just keep looping it.
Sort of like how I rewatch episodes of this on YouTube. I don't get extra views. It feels nice sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with listening to yourself or watching yourself over and over again. I think you could actually kind of like learn a lot from that.
I do.
Just like even like watching our videos, it's like, oh, I should have moved the mic closer, or oh, I should have, like, I'm sure you deal with that a lot. Like, do you like criticize yourself a lot? Because I mean, I imagine like making your own music, like you have to continuously like listen and try to figure out like, how do you feel about doing that? Is that something you've grown less self-conscious about?
In terms of just like criticizing like how I'm like operating with like,
yeah, like work. If you put out a new song, let's say,
yeah,
and you're like, do you have a problem listening to it over and over again?
I don't. I actually am my biggest fan. So that being said, it's like, I can always listen to what I do. I can see like, oh, my breath control was good here. I can talk about how I was recording in the studio, sounds, cadences, the whole 9. Like being able to like actually put a song out and like learn from my previous ones. And then I also can use it as a form of reflection. Like, dang, like I was rapping this well like 4 years ago. Like, let's get back to that headspace. So I always kind of use it as like different types of inspirations. And it's easier to like have it on there because like when you don't release the music, like you have to like go back to your notes or your file folder or whatever. You can't just loop it unless you want to just do the extra work and like download the iTunes and upload it, the whole 9. When you can just release it.
How soon after when you finish a song do you release it, or do you like hold on to it? Like, how does that work?
I hold on to a lot. I have so many songs that I haven't recorded, or if I did record it, it's like on a rough copy, and then I go re-record it again and get it mixed and mastered. Shout out Rick Roman. But you know what I'm saying? I think I hold on to a lot of songs. I hold on to a lot of rough copies as well. I have a lot of songs that are like mixed and mastered and done, and I haven't dropped it yet. But I also do that to just like see what else I can create. I try to not dwell on one song too much, so then that way I can just get to the next one. And when I'm creating a lot of my stuff, I kind of just get like a conglomerate of just all the different songs and then piece them together for projects, like what kind of coincides with each other, if they do or don't. And then if I feel like one song can stand alone as a single, I'll drop it as a single. If I feel like these 3 songs can be like an EP because they have like a specific message, it really just depends.
Do you want to talk about the royalty mixtapes? I know that's like, knowing you personally, I know that's kind of like a play on your name. But do you want to like just kind of talk about those? Those seem to be like really important projects to you, especially the second one that just dropped recently.
And see, I'm glad you said that because they are important. And I always go back to that one because that's like my first mixtape drop, period. Like, besides the collab tape, but that was my first one on all platforms where everyone can go and download it. It was like the intro of me. And basically, the whole idea of the royalty tapes is really just I wanted to show off my craft and my improvement within each and every project. And the biggest thing about this one was like I was, going out on my own and getting features done and going to different studios. This is before I even got consistent with anybody. It was just me being able to network with different artists, have good songs actually be created, and like you're seeing the growth and the versatility in all my music. So if you ever get bored and want to just go take a deep dive, you might as well.
Or even if you're not bored, you should just go take a deep dive.
Exactly. But the royalty tapes has always been like a big thing for me because like it was kind of just like the conglomerate of just like me being able to push the message of like storytelling, things that I've been through, lived experience, and the message is always just you walk away liking 1 to 2 songs. Like everyone has their favorites. You're not going to like everything, and I'm always striving for versatility, which is why you'll hear me talking about my experiences in college. You'll hear about me talking about me hanging out with friends and things that I did with friends and relationship stuff, like me being like the song Lover Boy, like things like that. So you'll be able to like get like a good grasp of like what I'm going through in each of these songs that are being displayed, especially on the first one. And the second one, I would say this is one of the projects where I was like, and they came out 3 years apart. So after I got more acclimated into the Delaware scene, that's when I was doing a lot of performances and like, just, doing the songs that I was feeling comfortable with that people liked. And this is where I was like growing this project over time, and I was connecting with different producers, different artists. So that's when I was like, I really wanted to make this project be my imprint. And that's when I like got the core feature and, popular artists from Philly. I had got Hero SYS to hop on one of the songs. He's a popular Delaware artist as well. And that's when I was able to, do songs with like good friends of mine, like Bravo Williams, Paulie B. And we all went to high school together and stuff. So we was able to really just kind of just, put all our, talents together and, make something great. And this is when I connected with Prosper Beats. He's a producer, engineer, and he lives out in LA. And if he's not in LA, he's like right outside of LA, but great dude. And he produced like half of the project. So like I've been working with him for a lot of my songs now, even songs that aren't even like released yet. And I was able to work with the guy X, producer out in Delaware. Me and him, we grew up, middle school, high school. So we have like a lot of the same friends. So like whenever he started really making beats, as I started like making music. So it's like, it kind of just worked out. But other than that, like the royalty tapes is just kind of just like a growth step-by-step process of how you see me grow over time. And I feel like me solidifying myself with like the core feature, it was letting people know like, oh, nah, he's just not one of those dudes that just making music just cause like, oh, he's serious. Like,
right.
So that's kind of what I was trying to do with that project. And I feel like it can really hold its own. I've been sitting on that project for the longest. Like I've dropped like other singles and stuff, but like I've been promoting that project for a while, like at least a year and a half.
Gotcha. And when I first met you, I think you were. This was like back maybe May or June when we first met. Mm-hmm. And we interviewed you with another organization. But so compared to I'm trying to remember the name of the Vibe Tapes. Mm-hmm. Compared to the Vibe Tapes, which was more of a collaborative, mixtape that you did. And you even said like a little bit like you weren't sure if you could do it on your own. Like, oh, yo, bro, let's do this together. Yep. And like make something great. Like, what motivated you to, because it sounds like, especially the first royalty tapes was just like, this is a me project. This is like, you might have features on it or as you do in the second one. But like, what was that transition between like, was it just growing more confident where you felt like you could do your own project? Mm-hmm. Where did that come in?
So basically, when we was crafting the Vibe Tape 1, we was able to kind of like go through all the songs that we was making at the time, because there was some songs I was doing by myself, some songs that he was doing, some songs we collabed on, and we was kind of just taking the pick of the litter. And then most of the songs on there are songs that I've recorded at his house, because I didn't even have my own setup at the time. And one of the songs I went to my other friend's studio to get that song done, but a lot of it has really just been like homegrown in a sense, like, me being at my friend's house with his home setup. And it wasn't like it was the most craziest thing. So I want to say that it was a nice adjustment being able to go from not really wanting to do anything by myself to, gaining the confidence and growing, and then listening to myself, and I'm seeing the results of the Vibe Tape 1, it was giving me more confidence to be like, oh, I can like really do this. So like that whole process, just seeing how everything was unfolding, it was kind of like the catalyst, I would say.
It sounds like, well, if I could like relate it to what like Maria and I are doing, like initially we started just like doing the whole, like we interviewed people, but we didn't really feature ourselves. Like we try to do other productions for people. And I always give credit to like us starting this to Marie. Like, cause Marie's always kind of wanted to do her own podcast. And like she would try to motivate me, and my biggest thing was like, oh, we don't know what we're doing, like we need to practice it like with other people, like maybe like produce someone else's podcast and learn from that. And like just something just clicked like in one of our conversations, and we were just like, I was just like, all right, I think we need to do this. So like transition to that, like putting myself in front of the camera, like I always liked hiding behind the camera, even like the interviews we did with you before, like we're behind the camera, it's on you, the focus is on you. That's kind of like how we sell it. But no, there's definitely challenges. It's definitely scary, like putting yourself out there. And like I'll speak for myself, I'm getting used to it a little bit more, but like I still get nervous, like I'm a little nervous now. I don't know if I should have worn a light color shirt. But like, do you still deal with nerves like jumping on a stage in front of people at this point?
Honestly, I don't. Not at this point. I feel like after I performed for the first time, like ever, I was like, the mic was this far away. Like, I'm like, and I had like my vocals and stuff behind me. So like, it was fine at the time, but like, there'll be times like I'll have it super close, and then times where I'm like far away. Like I was nervous as hell. So like, now it's like, after I actually did it, the first 2 songs I did, I was like, that wasn't that bad. Like I'm still alive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
what was that first performance like? Where was that?
It was at the Spotlight. It was in on Route 40 in Delaware. It was hosted by Iman Calhoun. He's another Delaware artist. I'm pretty sure you've heard of him. And he basically, gave me the platform, do an open mic. It was like me and like 10 other artists, and we was just at the Spotlight. He had a whole nice little setup, and I did Pressure, and that's on the Royalty Tape Volume 1, and Success Over Failure. It was one of my bonus tracks on the Imperfect Love Story. So I did those 2 songs, and I had got a good reception, and very heartfelt songs, and like just, again, things that I'm living through or things I've experienced, the trials and tribulations of things. I make a lot of like hardworking songs, if that makes sense.
Do you mind explaining that a little bit?
Yeah, like kind of like hustle. Everything's going to work out if you put in the work, that kind of stuff, like being able to like motivate you to do something.
You're describing it obviously, but if you were to like pick a track or like a line from a song, like what would that be?
I would say Follow the Code. That's one of my newer songs. So like where I'm just talking about like follow the code, and I said the chorus, now I build up some cash. Like I follow these list of things and you'll be able to get to the money. Like for me, like I always been like a go-getter in a sense. Like I always would do anything to try and make extra couple dollars. Like I always just try to like, be very lucrative. So
in your real life, like you're a salesperson.
Yes. With me, I work as a sales rep. I sell to different, businesses in the New Jersey area. And basically I just kind of just, call them up. I look over their infrastructure for any like equipment, and we kind of just get to know each other just like this, just like on the phone, sometimes on video calls and stuff. And then we have other people that I work with that will like go on site, see the building, the facilities and everything. And we kind of just work and solve. And I manage their account. So we kind of just, see what kind of stuff they've gotten in the past. If there's anything that they want to do, going forward, any upgrades, any repeats, renewing warranties, things like that. We kind of just, get them situated, make sure everything that they have is, well in order, intact, up to date. And then if it's old, we try to replace it, get them something new, and we kind of just maintain the relationship.
How does that translate into what you do with the music?
It pays for everything I do.
Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious. Like me being a cable guy and slinging internet, pays for that. But like, as far as just like the experience, I mean, because like follow the code, like you say, it's about, you know, you're looking for lucrative opportunities, and you follow like a set of rules, a set of codes in order to, you know, become wealthy. I mean, yeah, the art, of course, do it for the art, but like, I mean, you can't just do it for the art and not get paid. Like, is there anything that you can take from that experience working with your professional in real life job?
Literally, like I was talking to Janad about this. Shout out Janad, but he was telling me a lot about getting like more money in your pocket, like, you know, having events, selling merch, selling food, different creative ideas for people to like come out to like your shows, being able to try and make the most profit that you can get at the lower levels. And he likes to call them booming plays. So being able to like make big moves at a small rate is going to put eyes and attention on you. So like, how can you separate yourself from the rest of the pack that's trying to all get to the same spot?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what, that's a great way to put it. I think that's kind of like what caught our eye, you know, like with Janad back when we met him in March. How long have you been working with TME? Trifecta Music Empire.
Yeah, so I want to say, what is it, 2020? Like at least 2 years. I feel like we've gotten a lot more close in the last few months, but like I was always doing events, or I would go to like, you know, the kickback events. Sometimes, you know, just like extracurricular stuff that they have going on, music videos, the whole nine. A lot of their events, I was just always there. I always believed in their vision and what they had going on, the professionalism and everything. That's when I was like, oh, they're taking this seriously. Like when I'm going to perform and I'm getting a check, I was like, oh my God, I got paid. Like, what? It's just crazy. So then literally getting like a W-9 and everything involved with that, it's just like, well, this is amazing. Like, wow, like direct deposit. Like, so it's kind of just like one of those things where I was able to like really like take a deeper dive into like what they had going on. So I went to more events. Performed, networked, was talking, built a lot of relationships. So it was definitely a good 2 years, I want to say, from start to finish, you know, to the present. And, you know, me and Janab, we work hand in hand a lot more now. And a lot of the next few like performances or shows and stuff, different videos like I do with TME now too.
Yeah, do you want to talk about some of those videos? Because you got quite a few going on.
Yes. So I just dropped the Follow the Code music video. That's out on YouTube. We just hit 2,000 views.
We'll make sure we put it in the description down below.
Appreciate it. And I will also say we dropped the How You Slime video featuring Steve's Infinite. And that kind of just came together because we wanted to just do a song together. Literally both just hopped in the booth and we were just like, well, I had this beat. I was sitting on this beat for like 3-4 months. I've been lazy, didn't feel like writing to it. And then he just hops in the booth. He just starts freestyling. And I was like, wow, that's so fire. Like, what am I going to do? So I went in there, I did my verse, and then it kind of just came to be. And then Reed Groman was able to just do a lot of edits and effects and stuff like that. And then Rekka, Shot by Rekka, he was like, oh, like, I'll do the video for you, because we was going to work with another videographer, but schedules weren't lining up, and then he kind of just saved the day. And then that video's out on YouTube as well. That video's at around 4,000 views now. So like a lot of my like videos have been booming lately. Like I've just been posting a lot on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat. I try everything, and then I send it to people directly. So like I need to find another way that I can like promote it or advertise it, because like Facebook is cool, but I just try to find like different avenues where I can just try to get as many views as possible.
Yeah, I think we could definitely learn a lot from that, because we want to get our views up for this as well. Please watch the whole thing. But like, besides just like you send it directly to people.
I literally will take the video link once it drops. I literally will take the link and I will go down every last person that like I texted in my threads. You know, sometimes like Apple will like delete your threads if it's like 6 months old, and literally I'll just copy paste, and I'll just send it, and I'll have like at least like 200 text messages sent within like 10 minutes, because I'm just copy paste and send.
Now, do you send like message or blurbs with that? Because I tried doing that with like Instagram. Like you just straight send the link and it's like you figure it out when you open it.
Yeah, like, okay. And I literally just will be like copy, link, paste, And then literally after I send it, I might type in, yo, like, comment, subscribe, tell all your friends. And then I'll like just do that over and over. Or like, run this up for me, please, with a bunch of fire emojis. But like, I'll literally just go ahead and just text everybody on my phone. Cause I feel like, me personally, I don't know if you guys tried this, but like when I don't post it and I just send it to them directly, like it feels more like intimate in a sense. So people will be like, oh, he sent this to me. Like I should go actually look at this. But like if I just post it and just tell you that it's out there, like I'm doing my due diligence, but who's to say that you're actually going to go to the link in my bio and actually click on that, then click on the next link to actually get to the video. And did you update the app? And then if you have to update it, you know, you got to exit out, restart. Like, so I don't know. So it's just one of those things where if I send it to you directly, you're more inclined to like actually like look at it. Because you're going to look at it like, oh, what's this?
I feel much special. It was like, oh, this artist sent it straight to me. Ooh.
Right. And it wasn't like an automated text or anything. Like it's like, hey, like I have your direct phone number and I wanted you to look at this because it's out. And if you could just comment, like it, thanks. I'll say repost, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah. That's really cool that you, I mean like 2,000 views, that's like 4,000 views. That's like a lot. I mean, even 50 views, that's like 50 different people looking at it and being like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And literally just being able to just, you know, try and get the best marketing out of it. Like literally just put in one video and you can go to your YouTube settings and put the other video at the end of it with the little hyperlink. Like, oh, like if you like this, you can look at this. So it's like, I try to do whatever I can to try and have as many people look at it. But all the manual sending and things that I've been doing, like people have been, you know, very receptive to it.
Do you feel you got a lot of this insight from like your sales job?
Yes.
Because it sounds like you can sell the shit out of yourself.
Yes. But what I will say is, though, I always keep it real. Like, I always give you the good, the bad. If it's something that I don't think you'll like, I probably won't send it to you. But, you know, I always have faith. But I will say that my sales job helps me, like, talk about myself in a sense.
Now, going back to the music videos, like, especially, like, the most recent ones, like Follow the Code and what was the other one?
How You Sliding.
How You Sliding. Thank you. With How You Sliding, like who comes up with those ideas? Like, is that you? Do you have like a vision in your head, or is that something you like work with a videographer with? I worked with Rekka on those two videos, and I will say that we kind of both had ideas. Like in the Follow the Code video, I talk about like I turn cash to ash as it's like a visual term saying like, oh, like I had this money and I burnt it, like I spent it, like. But I actually lit the dollar bill on fire in the video. So it's kind of just like a play on words in a sense, but I'm letting you visualize it. Like I'm going to put allegedly because I think technically that's a crime. Burning a dollar bill? Yeah. What's up?
Oh, well, it's good. I want to say, it wasn't a real dollar.
Oh, sweet. I'll still put allegedly because that looks cool. Allegedly. Yeah, but but the thing is, I try to basically just have a lot of the lyrics be visualized throughout the song. Yeah, that's interesting. And he also included like performance footage as well. So being able to kind of like show you what I'm doing in real life and like what I do on a day to day, the people that I'm with, like all that stuff is like, you know, shown in the video, like where I was just like, oh, like my friend Paul's going to smoke some weed and he's in the video. Like he's right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So, and like where I was like I said, my bro got the strap. I feel protected. Like he's in the video with his nunchucks going crazy. That was great, Janab, by the way. I've meant to compliment you on that. Like you've got some real skills with that. So did you know he's a black belt? I didn't know he was a black belt, but I know that he's a black belt, bro. See, he's trying to be humble. But yes, I'm very protected around him. They don't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
I know a lot of people who go to the stage and do you have the character you wear when you go to the stage? And where's this line when the B-Roy outside of the stage, on a stage, perform with someone or by yourself?
I will say that I am the same person all the time. And the reason why I say that is because I can be very animated, very personable, swaggy, modest, hyped up. Like I have a whole bunch of different like intangibles to my like characteristics, I guess you could say. Like I can be a lot of different things. So depending on what kind of song you're hearing is the kind of dude you're going to get on the stage. But I can also encapsulate all those motions, movements, emotions. So I won't say I don't put on like a character. I kind of just go up there and like, you know, just be myself in a sense. And that's kind of like a lot of the stuff that I like, you know, rap about with my music. Like I'm being myself all the time. Like I'm not talking about things I don't have. I may manifest some things, but like I don't really brag or boast about things I literally don't have.
I remember you just once mentioned, I'm never singing about anything I don't deal with or I don't know anything about.
Right.
So you honest, not only on the stage, but also in your songs, correct?
Yes, correct. And
Except when he's burning dollar bills.
now I will say that with you saying like, oh, like, you know, kind of like having like a different character that you put on, I will say when I get on the stage, I feel different. I will say that like sometimes I get excited to perform now. So like, oh, like, especially when I hear like other people perform and stuff, it's like, oh, like they're having a good time. But wait till they hear my music. Like I'm very like confident in myself whenever I like go and perform now. And it's like, if you don't know who I am, you will when I get done. And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, like you're so good. Like where can I find you? I'm like, I told you when I first walked on there and when I walked off. Like, but I'll tell you again, why not? But a lot of the stuff is really just like making different moves and different kind of pathways to being able to kind of promote yourself in a sense of being able to push your music, perform wherever, try and get as many lucrative opportunities as possible. Because I will say, like I told you earlier, like once I got like that core feature, it was like, oh, he's serious. Like, oh, so now it's like I have like the relationships and the leverages to be like, oh, like I want to pay you for a feature. I want you to perform over here. Like I'll pay you to do that. So like I try to like really like set that standard for myself. Like always try to go above and beyond with whatever you do. But yeah, kind of went on a whole tangent, but it all makes sense.
No, it does. And I kind of want to go off of that a little bit because you're really good about like not only acknowledging yourself and your own accomplishments, but like you talk. I can't even list all the artists that you've mentioned so far. I think it's about 20. But I think in like our private conversations, you've talked about like how you're really big about like artist support. And like my personal experience, like being, you know, going to some of like TME shows or just like other shows in general. Like sometimes like you'll see like a big crowd, everyone's all excited for this one artist, and as soon as he gets off the stage, room clears out because they're all following that one person. But like just kind of like my own personal experiences with you, like just seeing like you're involved, like you stay for most of the show, like you're supporting all the other artists out there. Like, is that something that you always like came with, or is that something that you like kind of learn as like part of the experience?
I would say both.
Okay.
In terms of came with, I feel like I came with it just from a standpoint of me actually being a fan of music. Like how I told you, like I got into it by just liking music in general. And I'm always trying to find something new or a new sound or whatever. So like I will stay until the very end, listen to all the artists, evaluate them for myself if it's something that I like. And, I follow the artists, DM them, repost some of their work. If I genuinely like your stuff, like I don't shy away from, staying for your performance or recording you while you're up there, atting you and tagging you and stuff. Like I do that all the time. And I feel like it just kind of comes with it because I feel like if I stay for you, you'll stay for me. Even I'm not asking you to, but it's like a respect kind of thing. Just like we all take our time to like create these songs and we want to be able to, show the love back for the love that we want to get. So that's just kind of how I do it.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned earlier about a song where you talk about like karma and like putting out good energy and being like a good person. I mean, that's just like an age old thing. Like if you do good things happen to you, and like you're very supportive, but then I also see how like people are like super supportive of you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of cool that, for lack of better terms, he follows the code. But I mean, it's just kind of living what you're saying, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah. And I will say, when you said if it comes with you or if you kind of just grew to like get the knowledge of it. Like even just meeting other artists, like you'll see people performing and they'll tell you, hey, like, stay for the show love, support, we all worked hard to be here, etc. Like you'll find people doing that at a lot of events sometimes. Just like if they want people to like really be engaged and stay around, like you'll hear people say that all the time at a bunch of events. So that way, like, it's like, hey, like pay respect to the artists that, support, like we was watching you, now watch us. So we all can give each other a big crowd, then we can network, play the field, things like that. And, see where it goes from there.
I have a question. You talking about that you support musician, you know them, you don't know them, you support new music, you hear, you stay till the end of every event. So you big supporter. Who's your big supporter? Who supports you? Who you feel the most like stand behind you?
Yeah, I will always say my biggest supporters was a bunch of other artists. Like just like I said, like me being able to like help people out and network with them. And it's been so many times I've networked with different artists. So like I can come to Philly now, say I'm performing here, and like I can get 4, 5, 6 different Philly artists to just come support, talk to me, record my footage, things like that. I have a bunch of people in Delaware I could reach out to, even just like them being fans of me or music. They want to just, come out to the event. It might be a few different artists that they like or whatever. But like, when I go up there, I'm seeing at least 10, 20 people in the crowd that I know that are, front and center, eyes on me, that kind of thing. So I would say like the artists have been like a really big support for me, like from start to finish, like when I first started my first performance to now. And I will also say like some of my individual friends as well, like my friend Tatiana, like Warren, Paulie, and even like Janad. Like Janad, he's been great. He's came to a lot of my performances, like outside of his events and things like that. Like he'll always just show up if I ask him to, and sometimes I won't even ask him; he'll just be there. And I'm like, oh hey, what's up, man? Like, but those are like I would say my biggest supporters. Those are the people that like they come to all of them, and if they can't, like their leg broke or something. So.
What the biggest goal in the music stage do you see for yourself? Like what's this like? Oh, like we all wants to make our passion as the bigger money maker, but what's the goal? Do you want to like quit the job and I don't know, go to the tour, or like what do you see your music career?
I love when people ask me this question, only just because I always give them the same answer. And I always tell people, I want to be like Russ. And they're going to be like, wait, what? Like, what? Like, he's not the biggest guy, not the most popular guy, but he's one of those type of artists that he did a lot of stuff independently, recorded from the house. He, I watched a lot of his interviews where he's like, oh, like I saved X amount of dollars by just I made the studio in my house. I record, I drop and get everything registered, BMI and things like that. Like he kind of was given like a lot of the independent bag in that space. Like same thing with like La Russell. But I was like, I just want to be like Russ, have my own cult following. If I get like 20,000 people to like buy whatever song or project I have, how much money that is? You do the math. But
well, if you sell it for $1, that's $20,000 a pop.
You see what I'm saying? Now I can live off that. And I can just drop music whenever I feel like it. And then it's like, oh, do I want to make $20,000 today? Throw a little 3-song EP out or something. Like if I know I have 20 people on average, I would say, why not?
Do you have a celebrity you want to collaborate with?
Yes.
It can be like a celebrity, like we're talking about state, or we're talking about whole America or outside.
I will say my favorite rapper is Jay-Z. I would love to do a song with Jay-Z. I would love to do a song with like Lil Uzi, just to like see how like our styles will mesh and stuff. I would love to do a song with Jay Critch. He's one of the dudes I did a lot of his listening of his music like 2016 to like 2020. Like I was listening to his music like nonstop. So he played a big part of like my high school to college. So I think that'd be pretty cool. And Drake. And I would even say like J. Cole, Kendrick. I would do songs with all those people. Like even like Nas. Like why not? but I have a lot of like, I have a big passion for like New York artists and rappers and stuff, even though I do like the Kanye's of the world, you know, Chicago, like Common. But I would say those are definitely like some artists I would like do songs with. But if I had like a top list, it would be Jay-Z, 'cause that's my favorite. And I think with me already getting the core feature, like I feel like if I want to do like another like big feature, like it had to be like through like networking like with him or something, or I connect with like another artist of some sort. So that way we could try and, you know, make some lucrative, some captivating. That's the word.
That way we could burn a lot of dollar bills.
Exactly.
I'm kind of stuck on that. I like it.
See?
It's the visual aspect.
Like, you ever just like burn paper?
Oh yeah, tons of paper.
Now burn $1. You might feel different.
I do every month.
Actually,
My bills. But no, I get what you mean.
support artists. Go to the open mic and support your artists.
Yeah, I would definitely say like go to any event if you can. Like for us, even like some artists they get paid, some artists don't get paid, some artists they pay to perform. But you know, at the end of the day, we just want to rap in front of people. So go support. That's all we want.
You know, you mentioned pay to play, and I think that's a nice segue to the next thing I want to talk about. We spoke about this personally, but some events are pay to play. Now we've heard like, you know, the negative about it and like how it can be exploitive, but you kind of talked about it in somewhat of a more positive, like depending on the event. But can you expound on that a little bit and like what pay? Like, I guess we could start off by like explaining what we mean by pay to play.
Yeah. So when people say pay to play, it's essentially saying if you want to do a service or an act, like you have to, you know, buy in per se. Like there's been plenty of events that I've gone to just because I wanted to perform in front of people in different cities, whether it was Jersey, New York, Philly, Atlanta, Maryland. Like I've done all those cities. So like being able to like, you know, want to perform 2 to 4 songs, sometimes it'll be, oh, hey, like 25, 50, 100, whatever. But if I felt like doing it and I had the money, I said, why not? That was me. Like, because I see the benefits as there's going to be a room full of people that don't know me from a can of paint that are going to hear me for the first time. And there's been plenty of times where I kind of just like bet on myself in a sense. That's how people like to frame it to you. But, you know, you're betting on yourself and you're like, you know, gambling, like in a sense. And I go there, I do my music, and it's been multiple times where I've left different venues and people are like, oh my God, like you're fire. Like, where can I find you? People are downloading my music in front of me. People are following me. I've left an event with like 25 new followers one time. And it's kind of where it's like, I'm growing my followers, my fan base, people that I've met and I've networked with other artists that was there, that kind of stuff. So like now, whenever I go back into those areas in Jersey, Philly, I have people that I can like, you know, reach out to like, oh, are you going to be here? You're going to be there? Oh, if you're around, like come support, things like that. So, and, you know, sometimes they actually show up, you know, and we kind of just, you know, grow from there. But I've seen a lot of benefits. I've also seen the negatives of it. But I will say it does harm in a sense where it's like you're setting a bad precedent where it's like, oh, like you gotta, you know, if I want to, you know, rap for somebody, I have to pay for it. Like it just sets a bad precedent from that standpoint because everybody's not rich or everybody doesn't have money to like go and do that all the time. But this is something that they love. And if you feel like it's like another job or expense, like you're going to fall out of love with it. But people want to make money from it. But the positives of it, it's like you have to, you know, see through the negatives of like, oh, like you could get scammed, like, cause some people do get scammed and you pull up to the event, don't perform, things like that. Other times you could not hear back, like you just thought there was going to be an event. There's no event. Some people just don't respond. You get blocked, like things like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, terrible. But it like I said, it sets a bad precedent. But for the people that actually do, you know, you get to perform and everything goes great. You know, it kind of puts you in a room full of different creators, artists, different fans, people that sell merch. whatever. Like people can want you to sponsor their stuff. Like a whole bunch of different things can happen. You can network, and also like people, they rent out the venues and stuff, so they got to pay the venues back and everything. So they probably got to pay them, pay the lighting crew, whoever, anyone that does the sound. So that's where like the money goes as well, because like nothing's free. So it's like I understand both sides of it. So it's like, hey, like you may have to do 25 for a song because every $25 is going to the security at the door. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. So I kind of get it. But like sometimes it's like I don't want to just keep coming out of my pocket to do things.
Right. It does. It definitely doesn't sound like you're telling people you need to do it all the time. And I like, do you have like any tips for people, or like what to look out for those kind of opportunities? And I guess like a follow up to that question is like, what do you do? Like you find like a legitimate, you pay whatever it is, you get in. It sounds like you don't just go there and perform and expect anything out of it. Like, well, what kind of tips would you give people to look out for if they were looking for those kind of opportunities? What to look out for in an event or a venue, and what to do when you actually get there?
Yeah, like first thing I would do is when you're talking to whoever is setting up the event, definitely do research into them. See like if they had past events, if they have like a lot of like photos of what they got going on. Is this something that they do regularly? Then it's like if you see a flyer, check out where the address is. Like, does it look like an event space? Is it not like an event space? Like, look at the surrounding areas, things like that. And then when you're going through the actual communications, make sure it makes sense for you. Like if you feel like I said, like sometimes there'll be days where I'm like, oh, I want to do four songs, like, but they're telling me it's like $100, $80, whatever. It's like if I feel like doing that, then like sure, like, but it was making sense for me at the time. But like, you know, I got a little money, so like why not? But then there's other times where it's like, all right, I don't need to spend this $80. Like I have to go pay for X, Y, and Z. So it's like, all right, it doesn't make sense. Like now's not the time. But you know, if you want to pay me for my features, I'll have money for it. But
Where can they find you for that?
B__Roy, DM me. Or you can reach out to my email, trillinoyrecords@gmail.com. Now, I was going to also say, once you actually get to these said events, you know, everything's going smooth, everything, you know, works out, play the room. My friend always told me, like, play the room, see who's there, talk to people, don't be shy. Like, people love someone that's, like, very assertive. And it's like you getting to know them or taking an interest in them, they'll take a look into you and have interest in you. It's kind of just, you know, reciprocation kind of thing. So then if there's, you know, A&Rs in the building, different producers, other artists that you think is fire, things like that, build those connections. It helps out, I promise. Now, rock the show. That's the last thing you're supposed to do. Do what you're supposed to do. Know your lyrics, rap, have fun with it. And, you know, at the end of the day, don't expect anything. Like if you win a contest, like that's amazing. If you don't win a contest, you know, still try to get as many followers as you can. So then that way, whenever you posting content or having things to upload to kind of promote yourself, you're going to have more people looking at it, more eyes, more people that may support what you got going on, reposting it and being able to, you know, kind of advance your career in a sense, the organic way.
I always want to ask, but I always forget. So I understand the singer. They have like a voice exercise. Do you, as a rapper, with like really like loud and strong voice, you do some exercise? Do you like do something before go to the stage, or like through the day before like concert, or you just like some warm ups for this vocal? How you say that?
Vocal cords?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll say that I know a lot of singers that do like vocal warm ups and everything. Like one of my friends, White Tiger, shout out White Tiger Lover Boy. He has like a 10-minute vocal warm up that he does before he does any kind of singing of any kind. Like takes him 10 minutes, he kind of watches a YouTube video. He replicates like things that like just warm up your vocal cords so you can like prepare to sing. Since I rap, I don't really sing. So like I don't really do that. But what I have done is worked on like breath control and like, you know, taking a lot of deep breaths and trying to hold my breath, see how long I can do it for, things like that, trying to just open my lungs up just so like I can try and get some of those faster paced songs off to like say every lyric, take a deeper breath so I can like try and get everything out all in one take. And I try to practice that for songs like Follow the Code and like Slick Talk and Lion. They're all out on all platforms, by the way. But it's one of those things that I try to do, and I rap in the mirror all the time to myself, like but that's how I like practice for the most part. And I also look at like old footage of myself too, like if I see like I took a breath there and it was like mad abrupt, or it's like if I was supposed to say a word there, if I couldn't get it out, then like I'll try to like practice for that the next time to like try and get it all the way through.
That's actually really good to know for someone who think they can rap and do something Eminem stuff with the really fast and really long lines. Yeah, that's cool exercise. Do you find them somewhere in the internet? Do you read it somewhere?
Literally, it was something that was like kind of told to me like in person. It was like, oh hey, like you should like work on your breath control. This is what I kind of do, and I was like, oh word, let me try it.
So is someone, the artist, give you this advice?
No.
No?
It was Janai's sister, shout out Key. She's great. But she was just like, oh hey, like work on breath control, do these exercises, and kind of just help me going forward with like a lot of my more hyped up songs that I perform now. Just something I'm still like practicing because I still need to like open up my lungs and all that so I can try and get as many words out as possible. But another thing you can do is just like actually work out. That can help your stamina too.
I need to do more of that.
Me too.
I wanted to talk about like just like your content in general. I keep referring back to personal conversations. I want to talk about your content. Like you mentioned before that like not only are you like promoting the new stuff you're doing, but like you're promoting the old stuff. And again, this kind of goes back to the salesman thing. Mm-hmm. And I know we kind of like beat that on the head a little bit, but like as far as just content versus like music videos or like longer productions, like where do you get the ideas, or like what's your motivation for that?
Well, can I like reference songs and kind of just tell you like where my mind was at the time?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like like what he's talking about is really just me being able to like promote my songs, my older songs, kind of like they're still brand new in a sense. Being able to talk about like how I came up with the song like Pressure. That was on the Rotate Volume 1. One of my favorite songs, and it's one of my favorite songs to perform too. It's one of those songs where it's kind of just like I want to win and I want to shine, and I'm trying to like chase a bag, but I'm running out of time. Like in a sense where it's like I want to make it as fast as I can, but I always feel like the time is like getting closer because, you know, it's rare for like someone old in rap to just like make it big. Everyone likes the next big thing, the next young whoever. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, yo, like we got to try and make it as fast as possible. I'm only 26, but at the same time, it's like it's rare that someone that's 35 and up that gets popular and famous these days. So it's like everything is all marketing and everything, and and it's easy to market like a younger person because, you know, they're with the times. But Pressure is one of the songs where I was able to like, you know, have ideas for it, market, talk about things that I've been through in real life, just like the pressures of being black and the pressures of, you know, going to college and, you know, trying to graduate, represent your family and things like that. Like being able to have all that pressure and facing the reality of can you handle it? Like that's kind of like what I'm talking about in that song.
You're obviously like a really big fan of what you do. You mentioned that before, and like it's just really great that you could just like, oh, this song, this is where my headspace was. This is what I was thinking. If you're meeting somebody new and it's like you had to pick one song that's gonna make me a fan, or I'm walking away, what one song is that? That could be old, that could be new.
So here's the thing, like I'm versatile with my songs, so it's like I'll do this. Like if you want something that's like hard hitting, like I would play this in the car and like turn the speakers up. Like you're playing Slick Talk. I've realized like talking to different people that listen to my music, like a lot of like men, they like Slick Talk. A lot of women, if they want something like they'll play in the car, they like Lying. And that song is basically just about people lying all the time and lying about the things that they have and the money they have, the cars they have, the job they have, whatever they do with their life, they're lying about it. And I don't like liars. Pet peeve of mine. So with that being said, it was I made that song. A lot of girls like that song. Very catchy, very easy, simple to follow, nice little story and message. But then like if you want something that's more on the chiller side, the chiller vibe, like you can go to like the imperfect love story. A lot of girls they tell me they like didn't mean it all, or they'll go to like Morihrihtats Volume 1, Lover Boy, talking about relationships and being able to like apologize for mistakes that you've done and how you'll be a better person. Or you could talk about, oh, I love you so much, like you mean the world to me, that kind of stuff. So I'm very versatile. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. But I've named a couple songs for like what kind of vibe or mood that you want.
That was a very salesman-like answer, and then that's not a bad thing. It's an observation because what it means is that you're literally trying to take the time to like I just asked you a very vague question. Pick a song, gun to your head, and you're like, okay, like are you gun to your head? Are you looking for something you could play out loud in the car? Like you're just kind of like always thinking not only like what I think sounds good, but I'm trying to get to know you and
like what do you like?
Exactly. So that's a very like salesman like kind of.
But what do you like?
What do I like? That just depends on my mood, man. I mean, I guess I really like before I go into work, like I have my windows up, I have the speakers loud. So like,
okay,
yeah.
So I would say for you, windows up, speakers loud. I would say for you would probably like Midnight in Delaware, and I say that song in particular.
Can I get a pen? I want to write this down.
Yes. So Midnight in Delaware is a song that I literally had did on the mic series with. Shout out Wilm Media. And he basically put me on a platform to do on the mic series, a mic drop similar to like what me and like Record did or anything I did with Blockwork Performance. We had did on the mic series for Delaware, so there was a few Delaware artists that was on there, and I was able to do Midnight in Delaware. It's the outro to the Morihrihtats Volume 2. Very hard-hitting beat, very fire. It's the first beat that I got from Prosper Beats, the person I was telling you about earlier. That was the first beat I ever got from him. I said, oh my God, like this beat is fire, I need it. And I have a song out called Different Views, and Different Views was produced by Aurora Beats, and Prosper and him, they collabed on that beat for Midnight in Delaware. I said, oh, best of both worlds, y'all know each other? Like, what? Like, I need the beat now, like today. So it was one of those things where like I was like very motivated to like do that. And I was like, what does this song give me? But this song is basically just talking about like what it's like to be in Delaware and kind of the things that you see, grow up with, or are accustomed to, and what it's like being an artist, you know, in Delaware, and just my thoughts that I was writing at midnight. And that's kind of how the song comes together. Gotcha. But also paying homage to Drake at the same time because he does the time zone songs and things like that. So shout out him.
I hate to put you on the spot, but this is kind of a fun exercise. How about for Marie?
Yeah. Like, what kind of music do you like listening to from a rap standpoint? Like, it could be very upbeat, it could be very chill, it could be.
I like if it's like a rap music, I like or it must be really deep meaning, or it must be really danceable.
Okay. Very deep meaning. I have a few songs like that. Like, I think for you, like, I think you would like Picking Patterns. That's on the Imperfect Love Story. That project is basically just like a conglomerate of like 4 or 5 songs where I'm basically just talking about what I've been dealing with in terms of like my relationships, like growing up. And that came out in 2022. And that's where I was basically just talking about on Picking Patterns, the cycles that women go through with men and how they kind of, you know, make the wrong decision or they make impulsive decisions to like stay in the relationships, even though if it's bad, you know, it's like, but you love them so much, like, but like you're creating a pattern and women will pick that pattern before giving up per se. And, you know, after like 4th, 5th, 6th time, you're like, why is he doing this to me? But it's like the whole time it was in your face. And I'm just kind of giving them the warning, like, don't fall for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's one of the songs that I think that you would like on there. You should check it out.
I will. And if something danceable, what do you have? Something that ass shaking and like you can just like
Just have a ball.
Yeah.
Okay. That is out. I would say Everybody. That's one of the singles that I put out. It was around the summertime. I wanted to have a song where people can like go out. Like I always envision like this song, like whenever I get a music video done, because I dropped the song like late summer last year. So I should have dropped it like earlier summer so I could have got with Rekka and get the video shot and everything. Like, oh, like I just picture people at the beach or at a pool party of some sort, having a good time. We driving down with the roof down and things like that. The whole 9 yards. So like, being able to like have that vision for that, and it's like everybody catch a vibe in the party, like that's what I'm saying the whole time. So that's where I'm just like, okay, like that's very danceable. A lot of people, they kind of can do whatever dance they want to it, but it has like a nice West Coast kind of bop to it.
Nice. We'll be sure to check those out.
I also have a question. How do you wrote the lyrics? It comes like because sometimes it comes in a dream. Sometimes you just have an idea and you roll this idea in your head, just like from side to side, and start to looking for words, or you just sitting and straight like I'm gonna write a down song about this, and you write it down. I know it sounds ridiculous, but everyone have a different pattern.
That's how
they
it
work.
is. So like, I'll tell you, I do the most random process. It's always different. I'll sometimes go to a beat. I'll listen to the beat. What do I think of this when I hear this beat? And then I'll come up with a concept on my own. Sometimes if I'm on YouTube and I'll see a beat that I really like, producers like naming the beat, I would literally take whatever they named it and make a whole song out of whatever they named it. And I'll just like have a whole like song around that. And I'll try and make it relatable in different ways. And so like, for example, like when I came up with the song Pressure, I came up with the concept of pressure. That's what I was just hearing when I got the beat. But when it came to Gimme Yours, which is also on the Royalty Tape Volume 1, sorry. Gimme Yours, that's the song I did with MBG. Gimme Yours was the name of the beat, and I literally came up with a song around Gimme Yours. So it's like, that's just two examples of how it was on the same project. I had two different writing approaches to songs. And I would say Gimme Yours is the more catchier song, and this is just like You Wanted Mine and I Needed Yours, and I Got Me a Bag, and this shit is a fucking whore. But like, literally like being able to just kind of just like You Wanted Mine and I Need Yours, and I bought you a bag and it's Christian Dior. Just like kind of just like playing off of like the Gimme Yours like slogan, and being able to like make something fun out of it. And that was like when I was like first starting to write, and that's when I was like, my first project came out 2020 on Christmas. So it was one of those things where it's like my process was always different depending on what the beat was or whatever I thought about it. Because the Pressure beat, the original name of it was called Butter. I was like, I'm not rapping about butter. So
Why not?
I don't know.
You didn't really have to answer that, man. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's
But
fine.
yeah, Butter. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad the song's not called Butter.
exactly. And that's where I was like, oh yeah, but like but the beat was smooth like butter. I will say that. But see how it all comes full circle. See, but
You could have wrote Butter.
that's funny. But
Truffle butter on it. Marie hates that.
But what I will say is though, like that's kind of like how I kind of come up with writing my music. I still do the same thing to this day. Like you've heard a few of like some of my unreleased songs and a few of my released songs. Like the last performance that you was at, I did Priceless featuring me and Paulie. That song isn't out yet. It's gonna come out soon. But like the name of the beat was Priceless, and then I have a song called What Do You Mean, and that song is coming out soon. I didn't perform that one, but that's a new producer. I got that from J Spark Beats. Shout out J Spark Beats. That song was like, the beat was called like For the Love or for Me and You, something like that. And I gave it a whole different concept. So I kind of like do it the same way. Like I was just like, I go into it with a concept and I just write about it, or I come up with it on the fly, or the name of the beat just kind of just gives me like some kind of like inspiration. Like, I could write about this. So
you use any creative ways to express yourself.
yeah. I will say this though. I do have a question for you.
Sure.
I told you what song that I think you would like based off your mood, but the songs that you have heard, what's your favorite song?
I don't know. I think you released it. Natalie Nunn.
Coming soon.
Yeah, I saw it live, and
a man of culture. I like this guy.
Because I remember like I'm trying to remember which it was over at it was one of the showcases, and we actually got footage of that, and I think that we put that in the video we did for you. I could be wrong.
Yes, you did.
On TME Takeover's YouTube page. It was B-Roy. I'm trying to remember the name. We'll put it down in the description below. But yeah, I just remember just like
it was Natalie Nunn, and we put Priceless on there.
That's right. We did put Priceless on there.
I like performing unreleased songs just because I like to get a feel for like how the crowd likes the song before I actually put it out. And it's the thing, like, here's the thing. I told you I love myself so much. Like, I know it's fire, but I just gotta get the reassurance, because if people don't like it, I'm not gonna put it out there.
Okay, I was okay like shouting that song out, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Because here's the thing, right? When that song comes out, the world is gonna shake. Now, when I tell you this, it's gonna have a rollout, a plan, the whole nine. Shout out Natalie Nunn, Zeus Network. But the whole plan is to kind of try and get her attention. Like, hey, like, I shouted you out in a song. You should like repost this. Like,
that's not a bad idea.
Or you can put it on your TV network. Who knows? I'm going for gold. Why not?
As you should.
Know what I'm saying?
As you should.
And a lot of people do it all the time. The last time she got shouted out in the song, it was by Nicki Minaj. And she was playing it on her Instagram story and everything. And she was like, I don't mind you talking about me. So I was like, all right, let's do the same thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, if it works, then why not? And honestly, I think that might catch her eye. Or her ear, her attention. Catch her attention.
What he said. I like that.
But B-Roy, thank you for sitting down and doing this with us. And we hope this isn't the last time. It sounds like you're, along with Natalie Nunn, like other projects that you're pushing. Can we sign off by just like promoting what you got coming real soon?
We're going to be, possibly may get another single from me. We'll see. I don't know. Might be Natalie Nunn, might be Priceless. Who knows? But it could be a few different songs. I have a lot of stuff in the vault, like I told you. But it's like I always say, it always got to make sense. So like, be on the lookout for some music. Definitely be on the lookout for some more content and videos and stuff. I'm going to be posting a lot on my Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, etc. And again, you can follow me at B__Roy. It's probably gonna be like right there. And if there's anything that you guys want to hear from me, don't shy away from DMing me or anything like that. Leaving a comment. Like, I'm open to feedback and stuff. I'm here for the people. But I always stay true to myself. I don't rap about nothing I don't do.
Well, hopefully you get more things so you have more things to rap about.
Exactly. See, I like this guy. See, he listens. That's what I want you to do when you listen to my music. Open your ears.
Well, thank you again for sitting with us and doing this, B-Roy.
My pleasure.
Picture time.
Some movies with my life, it's time to go. I went behind the scenes, but was surprised to see. Yeah, I got the hottest songs, I know you proud of it. Yeah, moving some gravity, slide the gallery. Yeah, niggas be envious, I know they after me. Let's rock some bird like Socrates. When I'm in a bed like Socrates. When I'm always proud of me. When I'm in the monopoly, go to rare anomaly. I've been stuck apostrophe. I'm about to blow catastrophe. Her head gets like Natalie, like none. I don't even know what you want. Fucking a bitch like her. I'm throwing up that bag, bitch. Passing the ball like Luka. On the rise like Ant-Man. Niggas know I'm too tough. Niggas really got no hands, so they gotta shoot ya. What do you mean? I'm back on the scene and get back to the